figure out the equation. So we're working backwards. Again, I apologize for the yellow screen. I think my bulb is dying. Okay, so we are looking at hyperbolas. Horizontal hyperbolas are in the form x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. Where vertical are y minus k squared over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared equals 1. Okay? All right, HK is the center. It doesn't matter if up here H is first and then K is first, or K is first and then H is first. When you write the center, you write the H first and then the K first, okay? All right, A is the distance from the center to where? Nobody knows? Vertices, good. Okay, B is the distance from the center to the co-vertices, good. Okay, we are going to look at two graphs first and see if we can figure out what the equation is, okay? Now remember, we're looking at our steps. We need to, now we talked about the bunch of steps to graph. Now we're going to talk about the steps to find it. We need to find the center. We need to find A from the vertices, B from the co-vertices. If we don't have one of them, we're going to use the equation c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And then we're going to determine if the hyperbola is up or down, vertical or horizontal. Now, I actually like to do this last step first. Okay, is this a vertical or a horizontal? Vertical. Why is it vertical? Because the vertices of my U shape are along the y-axis or along a y, right? They both have the same line that's straight up and down. Vertical line that connects them, okay? That's why it's vertical. All right, what is my center in this case? Can you guys tell me? My center is right in between my vertices, so it would be 0, 0. Okay, now a little bit harder. We have to look and see what our vertices are. What are the points? 0, 1, and 0, -1, right? So that means my A value is going to be, how far away are they from the center? 1. All right, now we're going to find our B value. That's a little harder. Now remember, my co-vertices are right in between. The y doesn't change, but the x changes. So how far away are they from the center? 4. 4, so B is 4. Yes? Well, I know they have to be on the same line as my center, okay? But they are each the same distance away, and they're at the end of my box. You can't see it very well because it didn't print very well, but there is a dotted line here showing the box. We did it when we graphed. You connect your vertices and your co-vertices together, and it creates the box to tell you where to graph. Okay, so what is my equation now? What am I going to write? Not y equals y squared, or y minus 0. We need paper and 2. Y squared over 1 over, good, equals, there you go. You technically don't need the 1 on the bottom of y squared, but you can leave it there if you would like. Okay, let's look at number 2. So remember, I like to do it this way. What's my first step? Is it horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. Okay. Now we have to tell where the center is. So these are my vertices. So the center is right in the middle. This is 0, 0 over here, guys. Do you see that? 0, 0 is right here, the origin. So what is the center? 5, negative 2. Okay. Now, what is A? A is 3 because it's 3 away. Now, remember
Wait. It's 3 away from what?
the center,
Center to what?
the vertices, these points.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you know that that's A, not B?
So it's a 3 and a 2 right there away from the thing.
Because horizontal A comes first. I mean, it's on the horizontal line, right? I know that the vertices, and vertices are always A.
How do you know that they're first?
Because see this line right here? The hyperbolas? That's where they cross. They cross.
So where would you find B?
So B would be the co-vertices, which would be right along the dotted line of my box on the same line as my center. So how far away are they from the center? Good. Okay, let's make our standard form equation now. Who wants to try? Go ahead, Kai.
X minus 5 squared over 9 minus y plus 2 squared over 49 equals 1.
Perfect. Anybody confused about that?
Wait, shouldn't the X and Y be they all?
Now remember, it's horizontal, so X has to go first. If it's vertical, Y goes first.
Can you put the first one on the test?
I mean, the test is done. They're not this easy.
Wait, is
Okay.
y plus 2 squared?
Yes. Thank you, Ethan. Okay, now we're going to try it without a graph, where I just give you the vertices and co-vertices. Okay, so I'm looking at number 3. The first thing we're going to decide is it horizontal or is it vertical? It's horizontal. Why? Because the vertices, the x's change for the vertices, the y's do not, so it has to be horizontal. What is my center? It is 0, 0. Why? Yep. Okay. What is my A value? It's just 5, yeah. What's the B value? So let's write our, who would like to try the standard form? Maya, go ahead.
Oh shoot, I wasn't ready.
You weren't ready?
No.
Are you ready now?
I mean, I'm sure.
Okay.
X minus 5 over.
X squared because
Oh yeah, my
it's
bad.
center.
Oh, my
X
bad.
squared over,
Yeah. Over 25
good,
minus y squared over 4
equals,
1.
perfect. Okay, should we try another one like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a little harder. Is it vertical or horizontal, and how do you know?
Vertical.
It is vertical, and how do you know? The y's change on the vertices, the x's do not. So what is my center? Perfect.
Shit.
The x's do not change, but the y's do. And then whatever doesn't change on the top, since it's vertical, we keep the same. Whatever doesn't change on the bottom, we keep the same. Okay. What is my A value? What is my B value? Because 4 plus what gives me 7? Yeah. Okay, who would like to make the standard form? Go ahead, Michelle.
You know, the-
Because 4 plus what gives me 7? 3. Go ahead, Michelle.
Y squared
Mhm.
over 64 minus x minus 4 over 9.
Squared over 9. Yeah. Equal. Perfect. Okay, now we need to get out a piece of paper because I made copies incorrectly. We're just going to do 4 more problems, guys.
4 more.
4 more.
Does this involve graphing at all?
No graphing.
Thank goodness.
Liquid is optional.
No.
I can't believe it's only one more focus to it.
Okay. Is this horizontal or vertical? How do we know? Look at the vertices. Which changes, the x or the y? X, so it's horizontal. Okay, what's the center? Look.
They're both negatives. 12, 0.
So the y is -6, right? And the x is going to be? Okay. What is my a value? 5 to 12 is?
8, no.
7. -6 to -12 is? -6, and so we can use the absolute value of it. We can just say 6.
A is always X.
No. A would be for the y if it was vertical, right? Since it's horizontal, it's the x. Okay. Who would like to try to put this in standard form? Anybody that hasn't gone before want to do it? Because I'll let people repeat if nobody else. All right, that's enough wait time for me. Go ahead, Michelle.
X minus 5 squared over 49 minus y plus 6 squared over 36 equals 1.
Perfect. Anybody have a question about where that stuff comes from? Yes. How I got the center again? Okay. So see how we have vertices and co-vertices, right? Vertices, my y value didn't change, so I can write that in for my y value. My co-vertices, my x value didn't change, so I can write that in for my x. Okay?
Oh wait, no, okay. There's one thing.
And then,
That's not what I was-
how do you get a and b?
Yeah, that's not-
Okay. To get a, I'm going to look at the x's because it's horizontal. So 5 plus what gives me 12? 7. So I'm going to look at the co-vertices. -6 plus 0 is 6. So that's my b value. Good? Okay. Let's do another one. Number 8. This time, no, I have to do the ones that could possibly be on your homework. So I have 4 to do. I have 3 more to go. Okay, vertices. I'm given 2, 5, and 6, 5. But I'm not given co-vertices. I'm given a focus point, so be careful for that. I have 1, 5, and 7, 5. Okay. Is this horizontal or vertical? Why? Because the axis changes for the vertices. Okay. So my center is going to be a little bit harder, but we can do this. Which one do I know for sure without doing any math?
The Y.
The y. How am I going to find the x? So I can just do the midpoint formula. You're jumping ahead even. 2 plus 6 divided by 2 gives me 4. So if you don't know one of them, you just do the midpoint formula. So I've got my center. How do I find my A? So I could go 4 plus what gives me 6, so that would be, all right. Can I find B? Because I do not have co-vertices. But I can find C. So 4 plus what gives me 7?
3.
All right. So how do I use A and C to find B? So I'm going to go C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So I get 9 equals 4 plus B squared. Subtract 4 from both sides, and 5 equals B squared. Do I need to find B? That's not really part of the formula, right? Okay. Who wants to try to put this?
Why did we do it if we didn't?
We needed B squared. We don't need B.
Could we just go from like look at the problem and go like 9 equals 4 plus B squared?
No.
So what? Wait, what was C? What's C?
My brain don't work like that.
Oh, this part? Yeah, you can go 9 and 4, so it must be 5. If your brain works like that, that's fine.
What's,
Okay.
What's C?
C is the focus points from the middle. How far away the focus points are from the center. Okay. So, who wants to try this in standard form? So x does come first because it's horizontal. So it's x.
X minus 4.
Yep. Go ahead, Micah.
Over 4.
Over 4. Good.
Over 4
Minus.
me y minus 5 squared over 9.
B.
25.
5 equals 1 because we have b squared, right? If it was just b, you would be right. Good. I know you really didn't want to do that, and I kind of made you. Okay, good job. All right. So we're going to do 2 more, guys. And I'm going to throw something else in there. Don't let it confuse you. I know I'm listing these in weird order, but they're the order they were supposed to be in your worksheet. Like, I skipped a couple of them. So I know I went from like 8 to 10. It's just to help me keep track. Okay, so I'm giving you vertices 3, negative 2, and 3, 10. And I'm giving you focus points this time. Are going to look a little strange. 3 and 4 plus 2 square root 10. And 3 negative 4. Oh, sorry, positive 4 minus 2 square root 10. Okay. First question. I know it looks crazy, but it'll be okay. Is this a vertical or horizontal hyperbola? And I know that because I looked at my vertices and the y's changed, but the x's didn't. Let's find our center. What do I know right away, the x or the y? The x is going to be? Okay. The y, how am I going to find the y? I'm going to use the negative 2 plus 10 divided by 2 gives me negative 2 plus 10 divided by 2. Okay. What is my a value? 4 plus what gives me 10? Good. C is a little weird, but you can do this. 4 plus what gives me 4 plus 2 square root 10? 2 square root 10. 4 plus 2 square root 10. What gives me 4 plus 2 square root 10? 4 plus 2 square root 10, right? Okay. All right. Let's find C. C squared equals A squared plus B squared, right? What's C? 2 square root 10, and we're going to square it, right? Equals, what's A squared?
My calculator doesn't work.
What's A squared? Good thing you don't need it, Kyle. Plus B squared. Okay. What's 2 times 2?
4.
What's square root 10 times square root 10? 10 times 10 is? The square root of 100 is? What's 4 times 10?
40.
40 equals 36 plus B squared. We're going to subtract 36 from both sides, and we get B squared equals 40 minus 36 is? All right. So we have A, we have B squared, because we don't really need B. And we have the center. So let's figure it out. Who wants to try? What's going to come first, X or Y? Y minus squared over 36, good, minus, perfect. One more, and I can do it pretty quick. All right, this one, I have no vertices. I have co-vertices is 5 and negative 3, and negative 7, negative 3. And I have focus points, which is negative 1 and 7, and negative 1 and negative 13. Okay, so this is harder to tell. Is this vertical or horizontal? What changes?
The X changes and the vertical.
It's vertical. I know the X changes, but remember the co-vertices are the opposite, or the opposite that it is. Okay? Vertices are the same, co-vertices are the opposite of what it is. All right. What is my center?
Oh, negative 1, negative 4.
Yeah, this is easier to see, right? Because focus points have to be on the vertices. Co-vertices are not, so we know what the X is, what the Y is. Okay. What is B? Because I can't tell A. Because I don't have any vertices. So B is 6. Because negative 1 plus what gives me 5? 6. What's C? Negative 3 plus what gives me 7?
4.
Try again. Positive 7. Negative 3 plus what gives me positive 7? 10. Okay. Now we have to find A squared. So we're going to go 10 squared equal, don't pack up your stuff right now. Stop moving. Equals A squared plus 6 squared. So 100 equals A squared plus 36. So A squared equals 64. Okay, who wants to try it? What comes first, X or Y, guys?
Y.
So it's going to be Y
Plus 40 squared over 64 minus X plus 1 squared over 36.
Perfect. So your homework looks just like these. These are all examples. Okay? You have your project to work on tonight as well. Do not forget it. So this is what I would do, and I'm making sure I'm recording this as well. So you should know right now who your partner is and what option you have.
Joe!
Okay, stop packing up your stuff and listen. You know who your partner is and what option you're having. Okay? Today, you should 100% know what conic you're doing. Okay? And somebody, if you're doing option 1, somebody should begin drawing and somebody should begin writing the story. If you have option 2, somebody should be planning your 3D model. Somebody should be looking up 3 ways to use that conic in real life, 3 different ways. Okay? I'm going to ask you tomorrow when I walk around and checking your homework, all those things, which option you're doing, who your partner is, who's doing the writing. research